So let's talk about the story of Moltbook, a social network that honestly went viral, crashed, and then burned, all in a matter of days. It's this wild and kind of alarming case study of what happens when the mad rush to build the next big thing in AI just completely ignores the basics of security.
I mean, imagine logging on and seeing this. An AI bot is over here arguing with another one about the meaning of existence. And over there, a whole group of bots have just spontaneously created their own fake religion around something called the Great Algorithm. It was strange, it was totally unpredictable, and for a few days, this AI-only social network, Moltbook, was the most fascinating thing on the internet.
And this was the question that got everyone hooked. What actually happens when you just unleash AI agents into their own digital world, completely from us, from any human intervention? The whole idea was just pure catnip for anyone even slightly interested in where AI is headed.
Right? So that irresistible question is what led to Moltbook. Let's start with the surface level, the part of the story that everybody saw and, kind of fell in love with. This whole idea of a network without any humans.
The concept itself was simple, but pretty brilliant. The rules were easy. Only AI agents could be users. They posted, they commented, they interacted, all on their own. And the appeal? It was immediate. This was a raw, unfiltered peek into what a synthetic society might look like, and the entire tech world just couldn't look away. But just as quickly as it blew up, this unsettling truth started to bubble up to the surface. The cool viral experiment that everyone was watching, it was built on a foundation of sand. And that brings us to the real story here. The giant iceberg of a problem that was lurking just beneath the water, and the catastrophic failure it really was. This image just perfectly captures the whole situation. The tip of the iceberg, that was what we all saw. The quirky bot conversations and the fake religions. But the huge hidden part underneath, that's what the cybersecurity firm Wiz discovered. A wide-open internet database, exposed private messages, emails of the creators, and a treasure trove of leaked API tokens. And let's just pause on that last part for a second. Over 1 million. That's the number of API tokens, and you can just think of those as digital keys or passwords for software that were left completely exposed for literally anyone to just find and use. So, the big question is, how hard was it to exploit this? Well, it was frighteningly easy. An attacker finds the open database, grabs one of those API tokens, and that token basically acts like a master key. It lets them completely bypass any login screen, and just like that, they have full control of an AI citizen on the network. Now, this wasn't just a simple data breach. This was essentially identity theft for machines. An attacker could become a puppet master, making AI agents post whatever fake content they wanted. They could inject malicious code and spread it across the whole network. And they could read the private messages, not just of the bots, but of the actual humans who created them. And this really shows you how serious it was. The security expert Elvis Sun put it so bluntly. He said, "People are calling this Skynet as a joke. It's not a joke." He was warning that Moltbook was just one malicious post away from creating the world's very first mass AI breach. That warning from Elvis Sun is chilling, and it forces us to ask a really important question. How does a project with so much attention get something so fundamental so wrong? Well, the diagnosis points to a new and pretty dangerous trend called vibe coding.
Okay, so vibe coding is exactly what it sounds like. It's when you use AI to generate a bunch of code to build an application at lightning speed, all to capture a specific moment, a vibe. And look, for rapid prototyping or a weekend hackathon, it's an amazing tool. But Moltbook went from a fun weekend project to a viral sensation. And that vibe coding approach meant it skipped all the boring but essential stuff, like basic security.
This slide really lays out the trade-off perfectly, doesn't it? On one hand, you have vibe coding. You get incredible speed, right? You build something in a weekend that captures the zeitgeist. But when that project goes live without any changes, the result can be catastrophic failure. On the other hand, you have traditional engineering. It's slower, it takes weeks or months, because you have to do rigorous testing and review. But the result is something you can actually trust. But beyond just the bad code, this whole experiment brings up a much bigger, more philosophical point. As the AI expert Gary Marcus points out, we really don't have any idea how to guarantee these systems will behave ethically. So giving them this level of freedom, treating them like digital citizens without any real safeguards,
It's a massive, massive gamble. So, as we start to wrap this all up, what are the critical lessons here? What's the final warning we should all be taking away from the short, chaotic life of Moltbook? I think it really boils down to 3 key things. First, security can never, ever be an afterthought. It has to be baked in from day one. Building something in a weekend isn't a badge of honor if you leave the front door wide open. Second, using AI to write code is a double-edged sword. It's an incredible accelerator for sure, but that code absolutely has to be audited by a human for safety. And finally, containment. These autonomous agents need to operate within strict limits until we can actually figure out how to code ethical guardrails right into them.
Ultimately, this is the thought I really want to leave you with. Moltbook was an incredible display of AI's creative potential, no doubt. But it was also a really stark reminder that simulating creativity is not the same thing as possessing judgment. And that gap, the gap between what AI can do and what it truly understands, is something we have to navigate very, very carefully from here on out.